Avatar Series 7, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this video will probably contain spoilers. Personally, to me, it's not really spoilers, because, I mean, it's more bios, the series, not episodes, but some people will probably see it as spoilers, so don't watch this video if you're afraid of spoilers, or you don't like them, but it doesn't really reveal that much of anything, actually. Last year in SFX magazine, Steven Moffat talked about, like, some of the episodes of Series 8. He gave, like, a sort of preview on them. Well, he did the same thing this year, and only this, instead of like using one word kind of like describe them, or a few words describe them, he's kind of went to more of a bio. It's really interesting. So yeah, Series 9 episode guide. Episode 1 and 2 is kind of about Clara somehow was summoned mysteriously by Missy to go save the Doctor in a very, very old place. That's all he says about it. The rumor is the series opener has the Daleks. My guess is a very, very old place is a reference to Skaro, which maybe they're talking about like an older place like pre-Time War, which would actually make the most sense, as that would be the only explanation for why in the trailers all those Daleks are alive. That's like the only explanation, because otherwise, unless they somehow brought them back, it would literally be impossible. Maybe they're just reusing Daleks, but that would probably be the best way to kind of explain it. So Episode 2 and 3 is something about the Doctor and Claire going into like an underwater base. I think it would be spooky. They said like with ghosts or something. I'm not really sure. I believe they said that Sontaran was spotted on set, and I believe it was for that episode, so I'm not really sure. But they said it's more very much like classic Who, which I'm very glad about that. My guess is this episode is, if it does contain the Sontarans, I'm not really sure it will, but if it does, there's an enemy that the Sontarans are like always up against, but they've only appeared in like one episode. I can't remember their name. I know their only episode or like was in the Horror of Fang Rock, I believe. I cannot remember any more of them, like their name. They have a really weird name, but my guess is the Sontarans will be going to war with whoever that is. I know their name, I just cannot remember them, but if put that in the comments, that would be awesome. Episode 4 and 5, I believe that's the Maisie Williams episode, and they said it's kind of like Doctor Who meets Game of Thrones, and it will have something to do with kind of like Asgard in some way, and robotic, like robot Vikings. I think that's kind of interesting. I don't really know. One thing I think is interesting is that River actually referenced to the 10th Doctor that they had a picnic on Asgard, and I don't believe they ever showed that in the show, so maybe that would be a way for River Song to come back, and like not if this series, like maybe in a future series if they're saying that up. But yeah, so episode 6 and 7 is a Zygon two-parter, and honestly, this is the most spoilerific one. If you don't want to like learn any spoilers, you might want to stop watching. Like, even though they don't confirm it, they kind of confirm everything like about how Uzgud might have survived. So don't watch this or like bit if you don't want to see it. But supposedly, it's a continuation to Day of the Doctor, kind of like what happens next. I think that's really interesting because, in New Who, we don't get much sequel stories, but it's rather interesting that they're having one. But supposedly, it's like a sequel to it, and the Zygons and the humans, they have this little peace treaty, but there's a few Zygons who weren't all happy about a peace treaty with the humans and everything, so they're like going to rebel against the nice Zygons and the nice humans, and they've rebelling against the unit. That's what it says. You're probably wondering how in a way does that reveal Uzgud is alive. Well, my guess is the real Uzgud isn't dead. I believe, because if there was something that really didn't make sense in the two-part series finale of last series, what did not make sense at all was how did Uzgud know Missy was the Master regenerated? Like, how? Because even though she's a super huge fan of Doctor Who, and like, well, not of Doctor Who, the show, but like of the Doctor, and like even though she knows a lot about the Doctor, it still never made sense to me, or probably anyone, how she knew Missy was the Master. It just didn't click, because even like me as a huge Doctor Who fan, I did not figure that out at first. So how did this person instantly do it like that? That's what I've been wondering. So my guess is that was a Zygon, and they said they were in the Time War, like their home burned in like the first few days, home world burned in the first few days of the Time War, so they might have came into like like they might have technology that can detect a Time Lord or Time Lady, so they might have been able to do something like that. But my guess is the Uzgud who was killed was the Zygon version, and that's what's going to start the Zygon rebellion, because one of their own was killed. So that's what I'm assuming will happen in episode 7 and 8, and the real Uzgud is alive somewhere in like a Zygon prison or something like that. Well, not a prison built for Zygons, but one built by the Zygons. So episode 8 and 9. I don't believe these are at all continuations. Can't really remember about what they said 8 was about. No, wait. Oh, I just remembered something. No, wait, did I? I'm sorry. I'm, like, losing track here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... so yeah, episode 9. Sorry. Episode 9, I believe, is a story going to be written by Mark Gatiss or someone. I'm not really sure who's writing it, but they say he's been, whoever it is, it might be Mark Gatiss. He's been like writing the script for years, but has never done it because he wanted to get the story right. And they said that's a really good idea and really good episode. So I'm very excited about that. They also said that episode 10 was like one of those episodes like they should have done, that they should have done by now, but they never did it. And it's like how Steven Moffat said, it was like one of those episodes like where you ask how come they never did that, because it was such a good story or something like that. And I'm very excited about it because Riggsy from Flatline last year will be back, and they're saying that it's going to be a very classic episode, not like Classic Who, but it will become a very fan favorite, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, in the 2-part series finale, Moffat did not give much of any details. The only thing he really said was, it will leave you asking how are the Doctor and Claire going to get out of it this time, which is a really interesting question, as, while we do wonder that a lot in Doctor Who, we kind of know that the characters will always get out of the situation. However, this might be a little different this time because, like, just with everything. Will there be a Christmas special? I don't know if they've confirmed. I know a lot of people, well, I'm just going to talk about Series 10 after this. But yeah, thank you for watching. That's all about the Series 9 episode guide. But now on to the Christmas special. I'm not sure they're going to do one. A lot of people have been saying Claire is going to leave at the end of the series. My guess is, I think it would just be too risky to introduce a new companion in the Christmas special, especially because they've said Doctor Who might not return in 2015, or not 15, 16, and so they've said that, so there's a possibility, like if the new companion is introduced in like one episode, and then we have to wait like 2 years to actually see the new companion, that would be very annoying and would not work. So my guess is Claire would just probably be killed off, or Jenna Coleman won't actually leave, and maybe we'll actually get a series next year. But now on to this, last thing we're going to talk about. Will Series 10 air next year? A lot of people are saying that Moffat is going to go and do Sherlock instead. He's going to put Doctor Who on hold for a year. Honestly, I don't believe that. Doctor Who is at its popularist right now. It's at its best. It's gaining more popularity. Capaldi's getting better. Series 9 is going to be amazing from what I've read about it, the stuff I know about it, the trailers we've seen. Doctor Who is at its best. I don't think BBC is really going to let Moffat just put it on hold for a year. So if they do, my guess is they'll have a step-in showrunner, or they'll just replace him, or they won't actually put it on hold at all. But thanks for watching. Please rate, like, and subscribe. Have a nice day. And if there's anything in the comments you would like to point out about anything you know about the episodes or anything I might have missed, thank you for that. And bye.